Okay, so here we are at the announcement of the winners for the 2021 photo contest, sponsored every year by Friends of the Great Swamp National Wildlife Refuge. On the opening, you see a picture by the late Steve Byland, which one of the greatest nature pictures of all time, at least around here. I want to first thank our judges, Jim Gilbert, Bill Koch, and Bonnie O'Connor, who put many hours going over the pictures we received, and to Larry West, who's I don't believe has joined us yet, for doing all the hard work about organizing the photos and creating the DVD. And mostly thanks to you, the 55 photographers who sent us 257 pictures. Now, besides having a contest, we actually use these pictures, and we have accumulated a vast archive of over 1,500, probably up to 2,000 by now. And we use them in the newsletters, on websites, and wherever we need imagery, and even the Fish and Wildlife Service has them. So thank you very much for contributing to this effort, and I hope you had fun entering the contest, whether you won or not. If you did win, you'll get an email, and the name will be put at the visitor center, where you can go to pick up your choice of a hat, a t-shirt, or a tote bag from our nature shop. And everyone gets a 2021 to 2022 federal duck stamp. I should have put a picture of it here. This is an excellent way to spend $25. The proceeds go to purchase land for refuges, and it's also happens to be a free pass to any of the national wildlife refuges that charge a fee. And there are some. Maybe we should think of that. By the way, you can also shoot a duck, but you have to go somewhere else for that. We don't allow it. Okay, the winners. First category is wildlife, and third place we have A Winter Fox by Chuck Hantis. Chuck, are you with us? If you are, if your name appears, just unmute yourself before you talk. Everybody else should be muted by now. No. All right. Any judges have comments on this? It's what it appears to be, taken off Pleasant Plains Road.
Yeah, we get a lot of fox entries, but this one, that dead eye-on view, the pose, really make it a strong photo. And of course, you know, the surrounding snow and all that is, you know, beautifully lit, well exposed. I mean, photographer did everything right.
I think Chuck is on. Chuck, do you want to say anything? Maybe not.
Well,
okay.
Maybe he's muted. I don't know.
I didn't think he was.
Well, he has the opportunity. Chuck, if you're there. All right, well, let's move along for now. And in second place, we decided this is a mink and eating some species of aquatic creature. I hope I pronounced this right. JANITHA BATAGODA submitted this one. Is she here, JANITHA? All right. Judges, any comments on this?
Mustelids in general are usually pretty tough to get shots of because they're always very active. They're in and out of cover. So even just to get a portrait shot is a challenge. But to get a behavior shot like this out in the open, running with the fish, not something you get to see very often, let alone get a nice clean photograph of. You know, foreground's nice and open. I mean, the background, obviously the cattails are a little better, but just the way they positioned against the background, it works. And obviously, that's what the habitat looks like. It was a good job.
All right, well, that's a winner. And the first place winner is a fox again off Pleasant Plains Road, but this one's very little. Vicki, are you here, Vicki Coffin? If so, just unmute yourself and say something. All right, well, I know the judges had quite a bit to say about this, or Bill, you did as well, Jim.
Excuse me, I'm having difficulty on my screen seeing the entries. I don't know what I might have clicked off, or so I'm not sure what's going on here.
Check your view, Bonnie. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I am not seeing. I'm seeing you, Laurel, but I'm not seeing the entries for some reason. I don't know why. What happened?
So Can you look, can you check side by side gallery
We're recording it.
in your view?
Look,
Okay, I got it now.
oh,
Okay,
okay.
I got it. Mhm.
All right.
Sorry.
So we were, Vicky's not here, apparently. She's not with us. So if anyone has any comments about our first place winner, this unusual picture of a very young fox.
It is a very young red fox, and confuses a lot of folks because of its color. But they do eventually look like the earlier entry, the red fox in the snow. These guys, when they're young, they're extremely curious and somewhat approachable. But they eventually they learn to keep their distance, and they're just a lot of folks. I showed this to a bunch of folks, and at first they weren't sure what species it was. Some said, "Oh, maybe it's a little bear," but it was fun to play with folks with this. But it's a really adorable little guy.
Yeah, it just seems so vulnerable, just like hiding in there. If the photographer was with us, I would ask, how did you come across it? You know, were you just walking along and said, what's that little shape there? And lo and behold, it's a baby fox. It's, you know, usually you would think that they would be more well hidden, I guess, out of the den, maybe, I guess.
Looks like
Usually-
we're taking this fall, judging by the leaves.
Yeah. It's adorable.
When they're that young, they're usually down in the den.
Mhm.
See them start exploring, they already have their red pelage,
All right, well,
and they are super curious. I've even had
Mhm.
one curl up and go to sleep like 20 feet away, totally unconcerned about people being nearby.
my gosh, little do they know.
Yeah, right.
All right, okay, well, let's move on to scenics. And the third place entry is this, Holly Jean Dunbar's, which was taken at the Pleasant Plains Road again, early in the morning. Holly Jean, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
Holly Jean, how'd you manage this one?
I'm primarily a birder, and that's my reason for being in the swamp. But I just took out my my cell phone and snapped a photo. It was a real misty morning, and the colors in the sky were just beautiful. And I happened to be there at the right time.
Ha, cell phone. Hear that,
Yeah,
Jim?
I
True
think that's
story.
I
Sorry.
think that's the third cell phone photo we've had that's won.
Mhm.
And they haven't even all been landscapes. I think one of our insect winners was a Luna moth shot with a cell phone.
Mm.
So yeah, right place, right time, you know, thinking to take the picture, and it all works out. It's a great shot.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
for
you.
getting up so early so we could see this. shot.
Yeah, even though I'm a birder, I'm not really a morning person. So again, I just picked the right day to be there.
Well, I was told early on the trick of taking great photographs is be there and shoot at F11.
Yeah,
Second
being
place.
home in bed rarely works.
Here's Judy DiMaio's picture of the boardwalk going out to the Robinson platform. Again, last fall, just the right time. Judy, are you with us? No? Anything to say about this?
It looks like when you see this, you could almost imagine the crunching sound of the leaves under your feet. You know, it's just an experience in fall that's just so lively with the leaves just under your feet.
Won't be long now. Bonnie.
Yeah,
The leading lines of the boardwalk really make you want to go
Yeah.
to it. What's around
Yeah.
the corner?
yeah. It like beckons you to look further.
Right.
And it makes you feel like you're right there on the boardwalk.
Beautiful lighting coming from behind.
Yeah, the filtered light is beautiful.
Okay. So our first place is this from Susan Neufeld. Susan? Hey? No? But this, according to her entry, was taken along the water behind the visitor center. So this is obviously the Passaic, taken at just the right time. And that's our first place winner.
This, I've seen very similar sites throughout the swamp. Maybe they were just a vernal pool or edge of a marsh, but this was so characteristic of many different spots on the refuge. But the color, the splash of color, the balance, it just seems well done.
It's a good composition. It has foreground, midground, background, and the way the colors on the lower left are repeated in the background, it really brings your eye right into it. And the reflection, especially with that blue sky peeking through, is just amazing.
Yeah, it's easy to get 2 out of 3 on the foreground, midground, background, but to get all 3 all together, nicely balanced, is harder than it looks. Good job.
Yeah.
And we get very few, relatively speaking, entries in the scenics category. So it's good to see the ones we do get are really excellent.
Yeah, it varies year by year. Sometimes we get a lot, but this year it wasn't so many.
No.
But they were good.
Everybody loves birds. And here's Cheryl Colgan, Cedar Waxwing in 3rd place. Cheryl? No Cheryl? Anyone want to talk about this Cedar Waxwing?
Well, it's a good view, because usually what you're seeing with cedar waxwings is they're up at the top of a tree and you're shooting up against a bright sky, and so all you get is a dark bird. But here, getting a little lower down, being able to get that not eye level but closer to eye level view with a nice green background, I mean, it really makes all the nice subtle tones of the waxwing just pop out. So perfect lighting. And again, composition is nice with the branch going in the upper right-hand corner and then the descending branch the bird is on. Just, the beautiful red and yellow on the tail and the secondary coverts. Just nice job.
Yeah, I don't see too many square pictures, but this is one.
It works. I mean, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, whatever works for your composition, go with it.
Yeah.
Good work, Cheryl. Okay, and our 2nd place winner is this egret from Judy SEDLAK. Judith? Judith SEDLAK? No? Mute? Unmute? All right, she's not here, but there's her egret coming in for a landing. Where was this taken? Birds. The Overlook. Taking at the Overlook. So.
Yeah, believe it. Yes, I mean, for probably taking off, so good action shot. It's very easy to overexpose those bright white wing upper coverts, but photographer did a good job getting all that. And certainly a bonus is when they're in breeding plumage, you get that bright neon green skin around only a pretty short window of time that you could even get that detail on that photo. But it's one of those things, the action is happening and you got one shot to get everything right at once. You make one mistake and it's, you don't have the photo, but in this case, they got it all. She got it all.
Yeah, I love the idea that it's almost like a black and white photograph, but you just are drawn to that neon green eye and the beak. Just the colors just pop. And it's beautiful the way all the details in the feather are so clearly marked as well.
I'm sorry, Judy's not hearing all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, we are recording it, so the photographers can come back and check it out.
Right.
Oh, and it's great, by the way.
And 1st place, we have another one from Chuck HANTIS, a kingfisher with something in his mouth. Chuck, I know you're not here, unless you joined us. No, Chuck's not with us. So who knows anything about kingfishers?
I see his name on the screen, but I don't see that he's muted. I don't know why he's not in. I see his name on the side.
Well, Chuck, if you're there and you can hear me and you're muted, unmute. No? Well, trust us, you did good work here. The kingfish, even though you can't speak about it.
Yeah, I mean, kingfishers, as noisy as they are, and you see them flying around, they're a very difficult bird to photograph. They tend to be very skittish. I think my best kingfisher photos were taken from inside a car. But that one, he's got the beautiful wing spread with all the little white feather details in it, and of course, the behavior shot of flying with the prey in its mouth, his mouth, it's male kingfisher. One of the few birds where the males are less showy than the females. So everything came together.
All right, well,
You got it.
What
again.
kingfishers are supposed to do. And I like the way the background is just so subtle and it brings out all the details. And again, it's like eye level shot. So it makes it really able to see as much detail as you could see in such a short amount of time when they fly so quickly past you. Even the fish is just well placed in its mouth.
All right, well, good work again, Chuck. And now we're moving into plants and fungi. We're in third place. We have this from Carol Duffy, the wild blue flag iris, which was taken at the WOC. Carol, I think we had one from you before. It's not here. All right, somebody knows something about wild blue flag irises or this picture?
Yeah, Carol's a regular participant and frequent winner. So obviously she knows what she's doing. Plant shots can be tough because the background by nature tends to be close to the subject. And so you get a lot of clutter that can distract you from the subject. And she definitely went out of her way to get an angle and set the right aperture so that the background is nice and seamless and the flowers beautifully lit. Got enough depth of field that everything in the flower itself is all in focus. So attended to all the details.
Carol, do you want to say something?
I
I just want to say I was kneeling down in the mud to get this shot, but nothing I don't normally do. So that's about it.
All right. Well, it was worth it, Carol.
Thank you.
And second place, we have, again, I don't know my mushrooms, but these by Charlie Nice. Quite attractive. Charlie, are you with us? Charlie, Nice, unmute. No, nothing from Charlie. So I know nothing about mushrooms other than that.
Maybe Charlie 8 turned out to be a bad choice. Yeah, again, beautiful shot. Most taking mushroom shots, you tend to get a lot of background clutter that gets distracting. And at the time you're working at it, it seems like a good idea, but then the results aren't so great. But here he's got that beautiful lichen in the background. And again, he's got just enough depth of field to keep the mushroom sharp at the lower left corner in the back of the mushroom, just not enough depth of field to keep everything in there. But it's, foreground, background, lighting, similar with the iris shot, just everything done technically right in a interesting little subject with a nice composition with the highs and lows of the different mushroom caps.
I like the diagonals in it and all the textures. It really keeps your eye moving around the composition and you see different things, the shadows behind the mushrooms and, the darks and the lights, the contrast. There's just a lot going on in here. It's simple, but it's very complex when you start to analyze it. Beautiful textures and light.
I can't really add anything to Jim and Bonnie. They really captured the essence of what I would have said. Very good.
All right, Charlie, congratulations. In first place, more mushrooms. This one by Karen Kelsey. Karen, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Okay, Karen, well.
Yeah, I was just driving on Pleasant Plains Road and right around, there was that one corner and they had the mushroom. I believe it's like pumpkin mushroom or something like that. And I just took the picture. I jumped out of my car, took it and got back in my car and kept going. So.
Do you use a cell phone?
I can't remember. I know I took some on cell phone and also my camera. So I don't remember which one I submitted because it was several months ago. So it could have been my Canon PowerShot that I use or my my cell phone, my Google Pixel. I don't recall.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
picture. So I got
Yeah.
first prize.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
It is
Judges, anything that you want to add on this pumpkin mushroom picture?
Jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Lantern. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, again, some of the things we were saying before made get the background and the subject and everything worked out nicely. They're cool mushrooms. I would guess also that it probably was a real camera because the depth of field with the tiny sensor you get on a cell phone, you get more depth of field and the background looks a little out of focus, which helps the picture in this case. But as you said, the image speaks for itself. Doesn't matter what the capture tool was.
I like the contrast between the softness of the mushrooms, the very like undulating shapes, and then the hard, scratchy textures of like the rocks. The branches and the sticks behind it. It's just like a nice play in contrast with the textures as well.
All right, it'd be nice to have a shirt that color.
Yeah.
Raptors. Yeah, here's our famous Raptors category. We're in third place. You have this picture by Mitchell Tung. Mitchell, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Mitchell, I hate to say, but I'm told that bird is not hitchhiking on the turkey vulture.
Oh, I thought it was.
Well, they tell me that it's actually being chased, that they're very territorial.
Yes, I was just trying to play with that fun, like what you saw on the picture that is sort of is hitchhiking, but I saw it just kept pecking on that turkey vulture. And I was just on that bridge that was about to, on the way to the platform, right? So, I mean, I don't typically see a turkey vulture that low that I could capture. I tried a couple times. They're always high and they are always like against the light, the sunlight. So it was something to me that I was able to capture something, an image of a turkey vulture on its top, seeing its top, and it's not like black and white-ish, and with the red-shouldered blackbird attacking it. And it's kind of looking back and as if nothing's happening.
I love the way a little bird is just peeking through that little window with the upper wing, just underneath the tail and the wing. He's just like in the right spot. If the wing was down a little lower, you really wouldn't really see it as clearly.
Yeah, this was one of the several bursts that turned out to be better. That's that.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with Mitchell. It's tough to get the exposure right on a blackbird like that. It's easy to just take a shot and it just looks like a blob in the sky, but both birds really nicely exposed, showing all the detail and catching the crucial moment when the red-winged blackbird was right on the vulture.
Merlo, I love you.
It's it's not too difficult to see the smaller birds harassing the larger, slower moving a vulture or even an eagle. I've seen these blackbirds bounce off the back of an eagle in flight, but this quote unquote hitchhiker photo, it really looks like he's catching a ride, and also being low enough to get the backs of the birds, and it's just a great opportunistic capture.
Yeah, definitely. This is me at the right place at the right time.
Well, excellent work, Mitchell, and you're a winner.
Thank you.
Second place, we have Robert Lynn. Robert's not with us? Robert, if you're there, just hit unmute.
I did. Can anyone hear me?
A little bit, yeah.
Is he there?
Can someone actually hear me or not?
I
Yes.
can hear you a little bit, yeah.
It's quiet, but you can hear it.
All right. Basically, I had actually taken all the pictures I was day, and we were on the way out on Pleasant Plains Road, and one of the people walking along the road had told me that the red-shouldered hawk was perched in the tree. And just as we drove by, it jumped off the tree and it went across the Pleasant Plains Road. So I got a series of shots as it flew across the road. That's how come I got so close to it. Just came right over the car, and I just got out of the car.
Wow.
So, thank you.
Well, thank you, Robert, for sharing that with us. Judges, anything to talk about hawks?
Well,
it's a iconic bird for.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's an iconic bird for the Great Swamp. I mean, it breeds in wetland type areas, so that's great to see. And just for people who don't know the significance of full crop, you see that big bulge under the throat means that it's recently eaten a meal.
Oh.
And gorgeous, great shot.
Yeah, I haven't seen as many red-shouldered as red-tailed hawks. So it's a treat to see one captured at this perspective, especially getting the tops of the wings and just what Robert he got here. It's just a delight to see. Nice job, Robert.
Yeah.
And what's nice is it is an adult bird, and hence you get the full coloration and the little banding on the tail. But the immature birds are just kind of plain white spotted and not as colorful, even though it does have still shows a red shoulder.
I like the way he fills up the screen, the tips of the wings, and it's just centered so beautifully, and you really get to see all the details. And it's a really fascinating photograph for me because I don't ever see one like this.
Well, that's why it's a winner. Congratulations, Robert. And the first place in Raptors is Chuck HANTIS again, who we think is with us, but we can't hear. So Chuck's picture of a screech owl hiding in the tree was first place on the Raptors. I'm sure there's a lot of discussion about owls these days. Anybody want to talk about this one?
Well, I have to say this is one of my favorite photographs of all. And it looks like it could be the cover of a mystery novel. And I just see a lot of photographs with the whole owl doing different things, but the peeking through and just how you're just riveted to looking at the eye. It's like, who's looking at who? And I just love this picture. I think it's great. It has a lot of personality, and there's just that little touch of green on the lower right corner that just makes you feel like it's not really nighttime. It's kind of like still daylight, and he's not ready to come out yet. And it's just beautiful. I love it. It's very mysterious.
Okay, well, that was first place winner in Raptors. And then pollinators and insects. First place is Carol Duffy again. Carol, I know you're there. These damselflies are mating damselflies, I guess. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So
I was just in the right place at the right time, and it was in an angle I could get, which I was really happy about.
Yeah, and macro photography, when you're very close to the subject, the depth of field, the amount of area you can get into focus is super narrow. And so that angle is what's crucial to be able to get the whole thing in focus at the same time. If you're off at all, you'd get one in focus, not the other, or the head of one and not the tail. So very good job being right in the right place. And of course, exposure and subject and everything else is great.
Thank you.
And the brilliant blue just really stands out. The blade of grass that they're on is in focus, and the muted, softer background. It just pulls your eyes right onto the two insects. It's just really Nice job.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, second place is, I hope this is correct, Alexander George. Alexander, are you there? Alexander, if you're there and you're muted, unmute. All right. So here's a picture of a black swallowtail. No, tiger swallowtail.
Tiger, yeah, Eastern tiger.
Anything about this one?
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, you're there, Alexander?
I just unmuted. That's fabulous. I'm thrilled.
Well, it's a beautiful picture. You want to tell us how you got it?
I believe this was in the butterfly garden near the visitor center. And you might think I used a macro lens, but believe it or not, I didn't. I shot this with a 28 to 300 millimeter Nikon zoom. Probably stopped down to about probably f4.
Yeah, I like the lighting instead of the conventional front light. The way you got the light coming through the wings and the flower petals just catching the side light is a different approach, and worked really well.
Yes, thank you. It's also a case of just being in the right place at the right time. You know how that goes.
Yep.
It's all about the hunt.
That's true. So I think that as beautiful as the butterfly is, of course, that's the main subject, but I think the flower really has a lot going for it as well. The buds are just so interesting, and there's just a few petals. It's just so delicate, and the way the butterfly is just like right in the center, and you can even see, are those the little pistils they call them? I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's the flower is just so delicate. It's just welcoming, really beautiful.
Well, yeah, as you know, butterflies are not necessarily cooperative for this kind of photography, so you have to be quick. You just have to be in the right place, and you have to be quick. You can't hesitate.
Yep.
Well, you did it. Congratulations, Alexander.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
That's almost another square picture. I guess I should have kept my mouth shut about that. And the first place goes to this picture from Judy SEDLAK, which, Judy, are you with us? Judith? Give her a moment to unmute if she's with us. She's not. There's a monarch coming on some thistle, I guess. Or leaving a thistle, we don't know.
Is that ironweed?
Just notoriety.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the decisive moment thing again. I mean, obviously tough enough to shoot a butterfly under any circumstances, but getting one in motion, having the proboscis there unfurling, not having the plant clip the butterfly or vice versa, just takes a lot of attempts to get that shot. And nice clean background, beautiful light. Got it all.
Bonnie or Bill? No? All right.
Well, I think that the spacing between the butterfly and the flower is just perfect. If it was any higher or any lower, I don't think it would look as good. And I like the way the diagonal of the buds at sort of the same diagonal as the way the butterfly's taking off, I guess. And it's just the right amount of spacing. Like the negative space is really as much part of the composition, in my opinion. And I just love that light green background. It makes all the other colors just stand out so well. I really love it.
When I was taken to the Bluebird parking lot, according to Judy's entry. Okay, well, moving out of flowers into the youth, we had a lot of good entries this year, and we've awarded honorable mentions to those that deserved it and picked one, which is best overall. So let's look at the honorable mentions. And the first is Cameron Scott with his, I believe they're British soldiers. Cameron, are you with us? No, who's our mushroom expert among the judges here? I believe they're British soldiers. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think that's right. And that's when they're basically in their reproductive phase. So you get that bright red color on a different time of year. It would just be the stems. And again, macro photography. it's all about managing your depth of field, and you did a good job getting everything in, making pleasing composition. It's the pops of color that really make it. So.
Yeah. At first I didn't know it was a fungus. It just looked like some kind of a flower. And the more I looked at it, it almost reminds me of an underwater coral, like you expect to see a fish at any minute just swimming by.
Yeah, it's true. It does look like a reef.
Yeah, it does.
Now, to give us some sense of size, hey, Jim, how big across are those actual blossoms? They're very minute, I believe.
Oh, yeah, millimeters.
Millimeters, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the stems are maybe like a 1/4 inch high.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very, very small.
So this is shown several times actual size.
Yep. Yeah, it's true macro photo.
Interesting. Well, our next honorable mention is.
And that's the kind of thing that's not even see it at all. So it's good that he recognized it and got in and got the shot.
They are hard to find. I know that. Okay, Eden, are you with us? I was told these were northern water snakes.
Yep, that's correct.
More animals in love, I guess, or else they're not sure what they're doing.
Sometimes, especially when they first emerge from the dens in the spring, you'll find them all clumped up like that. Sometimes there'll be like 4 or 5 of them all together. But the challenge is, you're shooting from the boardwalk, so your perspectives are limited, and there's a lot of clutter, and it's tough to get a nice clean shot that really shows the eyes and the head and the nice continuous shape of the snake's body and getting it all together.
All right. Well, Eden's not here with us. So the next honorable mention is her sister, I assume, Elsie ZUMBRUN. Is Elsie there? Are you there? Well, I guess probably not. Now that's clearly a frog. Laurel thought it might be a bullfrog.
Yeah, it's a bullfrog. If you look at the ridge right behind the eye, on a green frog, that ridge goes all the way down the side of the animal, but on the bullfrog, it turns down right behind the tympanum. And so you can see it on that one. That is bullfrog.
Yeah.
All right.
And this has a nice the brightness of the vegetation in the foreground. It sort of just frames and brings your eye to the frog and then back out to the vegetation. It's just well balanced, nice composition. It's easy to see the frogs and the snakes from the boardwalk, but to frame it and capture it this way, it takes more effort and a good eye.
Well,
a keen observer. So, that would be a very easy site to overlook. You really have to be someone who spends time and has a good sense of observation and also good with the camera, obviously. But, it's like 1 second and the head would duck underneath that leaf. And I also love the way the vegetation just frames it so well, especially that arcing bud. It's like a little way brings your eye around.
Yep.
Well, nice work, ELYSEE. Sorry you're not with us. You'll get an email though. And the best overall in youth was decided to be this picture of a white-breasted nuthatch from Anna ISLEIB. Anna, any chance you're with us? No? Unmute? No. Well, that's a nuthatch on the tree. That much I could be pretty sure of. Beyond that, the judges will have to weigh in on it.
Well, that's a bird, again, easy to just get a look at, but anybody who's watched them knows they're scooting up and down the tree pretty quickly. They're behind cover, always moving, looking for insects.
Yeah.
So to be able to get it in one, holding still, 2, in a pose where you can really see everything and with a nice background and foreground, a lot of nice color and texture going on is not easy to do. And it really shows that slatey blue-gray color in the bird very nice. If it was more harshly lit, you wouldn't pick up that quite as clearly. Yeah. And the background and the textures and all that were very nicely done.
I like the way the bird is right in the center, but yet it's split in half, the photograph. On one side, you have those very gentle, soft grasses, and on the other side, you have the very strong texture of roughness with the tree bark, and the way the bird is like just separating the two. It's just well placed between the two sides of the photograph.
Yeah, it's, if the bird was not, the head of the bird was not poking out into the green half, it would be split down the middle, and it wouldn't have been, this way the bird joins the green and the bark, it ties it together.
Yeah, it does.
And instead of just split down the middle, it's left and right. And I kind of even like on that one blade of, maybe it's a tail leaf that's going across. You can see the insect burrows on the far left where it'd been a beetle or something was chewing on the leaf. It's just kind of neat.
And also the way you're seeing the back view of the nuthatch's body, but the side view of his head. And that's just so typical of the way they're just always looking in those little cracks and crevices and scooting around sideways and upside down. They're a delight to watch.
Well, that is our first place youth winner from ISLEIB. I'm sorry you're not with us. And folks, that's the end of the presentation for this year. All of the pictures that were submitted will be assembled into a video, which will be shown all year long in the visitor center somewhere during operating hours, and also will be posted on our YouTube channel. So you will be able to see all of the over 200 entries. And the winners will be permanently displayed in a gallery on the website. I've got that page prepared. That should be up live by tomorrow morning. So if you'd like to go see a gallery full screen of the winners, you can do that at our website. Again, I'd like to thank everybody, let them know that we will have a contest next year, which will start in January with submissions due by the 4th, and get out there and start shooting now. There's no reason not to. So thank you very much for attending our virtual Zoom presentation. And if you're a winner, you'll be hearing from us. And if you're not, congratulations anyway.